So the other day, my boss says to me, "It looks like you've been missing a lot of work lately." And I said, "Well, boss, I wouldn't exactly say that I've been missing it." Later on in that same conversation, she says to me, "You gotta go down to accounts payable and see Cheryl." Oh, what the heck's her last name? Ryder. I said, "Ryder? I don't even know her." Anxiety and nerves can affect anyone in any situation, and this is particularly true of job interviews. Those feelings can be incredibly strong during an interview. The best way to counter these feelings is with a bit of humor. Humor on a job interview? Is that really a good idea? It certainly can be, if done right. A good dose of humor can make you instantly likable and memorable, two very important things when it comes to winning job interviews. But get it wrong, and it will go off in your face faster than a die pack in a bank robbery. Let's unpack this a bit to see if humor is the secret sauce that your job interview style has been missing, or if it's a steaming pile of dog crap that's about to make a mess all over those nice loafers of yours. Darren D here, and this is the Ramblin' Recruiter. I help job seekers on YouTube find the job of their dreams. And if that sounds good, subscribe and ring that notification bell so you're among the first to know anytime a new video is posted. Seriously, folks, it really helps me with the YouTube algorithm when you subscribe and ring that notification bell. 98% of my viewers are actually not subscribers, so please, you don't want to see a grown man beg, do you? I think it's fair to say that most of us are either funny or would like to be funny. But humor is one of those things that can be very elusive. Hard to define, but easy to recognize when you see it. One thing is for certain, though, we all tend to remember the people who make us laugh. And being likable and memorable on job interviews are probably the two most difficult and most important things to do. So it stands to reason that adding a little bit of humor to your job interviewing style can be a secret sauce, a great recipe for success. A well-placed punchline can ensure that you seal the deal and you get that job offer. But it can be a very slippery slope. Crack the wrong kind of joke and you risk coming off as either silly or, even worse, offensive. Let's consider a few facts, shall we? According to Harvard Business Review research, and I'll leave a link to the article down below in the description, leaders in companies who show any sense of humor whatsoever are more likable and people are more loyal to them. Their employees are more engaged, and their employees are more likely to be able to creatively solve problems. This is a scientific fact. Studies have also shown that even adding something as simple as a bad joke to the end of a sales pitch makes customers more likely to buy. Saying something really stupid like, "My final offer is X and I'll even throw in my pet donkey with it," makes a customer more likely to break out their checkbook and part with their money. It actually increases their willingness to pay by almost 20%. Research by Gallup shows that one of the key factors in employee engagement is having a close friend at work, somebody who you can actually laugh with. Humor literally changes our brain chemistry. It reduces levels of the stress hormone cortisol, increases levels of endorphins, which are our natural painkiller, think about the runner's high, and increases levels of oxytocin, that's our love hormone. So having a good laugh at work is like the same as having a nice stress-relieving massage, exercising, and, getting it on all at the same time. And it's totally safe. You don't have to worry about HR getting upset about you playing hide the salami with somebody at work. But humor in a job interview is more than just memorizing a few jokes. The first thing you need to do is understand what your style of humor is, and believe it or not, no matter how much of a, wet sock you are, all of us have some sort of sense of humor. There's 4 major types of humorous personalities out there. The stand-up, somebody who's irreverent and cracks jokes. Think like Wanda Sykes, for example. The sweetheart, somebody who uses humor to lighten the mood in tense situations, but tends to avoid controversial or edgy topics. The sniper, who never fails to get a good zinger in there no matter what the situation is. And the magnet, somebody who radiates charisma. Think Barack Obama, Jimmy Fallon, somebody who people just naturally gravitate towards. So you've got to think about this. What's your style of humor? You need to know this before you attempt to use any humor on a job interview. An interesting fact, maybe not that much of a surprise, but the styles of humor tend to work in reverse, with the sniper and the stand-up being more effective for junior level employees, with the sweetheart and the magnet being more effective for leaders and executives. That kind of makes sense to me. Now, when it comes to job interviews, there are some topics that are just off limits no matter how perfect the setup is. Do not crack jokes about these topics. They will make you seem offensive. Number 1, anything whatsoever related to how somebody looks. Their height, their weight, their age, their skin color, their race, their gender identity, anything along those lines. Just steer clear of it, no matter how perfect the setup is. Look, I'm a short guy, right? So every time I see somebody over 6'5", I always want to make the joke like, how's the weather up there? And stand on my toes when I stand next to them. Just don't do it. Some people could be very sensitive about that. Number 2, religion. Steer clear of it. No a priest, a rabbi, and an imam walk into a bar jokes. Just leave that one alone. They're interesting and funny outside of work, but definitely not suitable for work. Hey, have you smashed that like button yet? It really helps me with the YouTube algorithm when you're engaged, so please, smash that like button and don't forget to subscribe. Number 3, politics. You just never can tell who it is that you're talking to and what their politics may be. It's a taboo subject, and while it's always relevant and in current events it's always happening, it's really a subject you should steer clear of in job interviews. I'll give you an example of what I'm referring to. About a year or so ago, my wife and I had some workers come to our house to replace the glass in some of our windows. And when they got here, we got to talking and, offered them a cup of coffee, and they were drinking their coffee, as nice as can be. And the two of them just could not stop talking about how disgusting they thought all Trump supporters were, and how they were all ignorant and racist and redneck, and they should all have their right to vote taken away from them. And I listened to this and I said, I voted for Trump twice, and I'm none of those things. I'm not a racist, I'm not a redneck, I'm not ignorant, I'm not uneducated. Well, you should have seen the two of them. Their faces just kind of went like, and all the color drained out of their faces. Literally, the wife had spent at least 10 minutes straight raging about how awful all Trump supporters were. And she kind of put her head down and mumbled some half-ass apology. And I said, listen, the check is on the kitchen counter. Finish your work and see yourselves out. And needless to say, they haven't been back to do any additional work. This kind of thing is the slipperiest of all the slopes when it comes to humor on a job interview. Just steer clear of it. You don't know who you're dealing with. Number 4, dirty jokes. Steer clear of anything with any kind of sexual innuendo. Again, you never know who you might be speaking with. They could take serious offense to it. No jokes about how hot the receptionist is. No jokes about the 6-foot blonde walking into a bar with a poodle under one arm and a 3-foot salami under the other. Just stay away from this type of humor. You don't want to put the idea in somebody's head that you're going to be a problem when it comes to sexual harassment, which is obviously a very bad thing and something we want to steer clear of in the workplace altogether. So now you might be saying, well, you've just eliminated all the humor that I know. If I can't crack jokes about the way people look, about sexual innuendo, about politics or religion, what am I supposed to crack jokes about? That's it. My humor repertoire is exhausted. That's not true. There is one style of humor that works extremely well on job interviews, and I guarantee you're already familiar with it. It's called self-deprecation. Self-deprecation is the ability to laugh at yourself, to imagine yourself in the context of all of life's foibles and not take yourself too seriously, be able to poke a little fun at yourself. It is also your ability to demonstrate humility. Recently, there was a story in the news about a young man who's an Eagle Scout who pulled a woman out of a burning car. I mean, this kid's a real hero. But what did he say? I'm no hero. I was just in the right place at the right time. That is the kind of example of self-deprecation that really works on a job interview. It makes you come across as very humble, not a spotlight seeker. These are the types of traits that employers tend to look for. If you can lightheartedly poke fun at yourself and share credit with the team, you've demonstrated humility, you've demonstrated that you're not a one-man or one-woman show. These are exactly the kind of traits that an employer would be looking for, and these are exactly the types of jokes that will help make you memorable and instantly likable. Now do this, watch either of the 2 videos on screen right now. I guarantee they are going to get you one step closer to that job of your dreams. Enjoy the rest of your job seeking day. Thanks for watching. I will see you next time. Bye for now. Peace.